Hello and welcome back again to another episode of the newspaper analysis. আৰু আমি every week আমি এটা newspaper update এটা দিওঁ আৰু যিসকলে ইতিমধ্যে আমাক ফলো কৰি আছা তোমালোকে হয়তো সকলোৱে গম পাইছাই কি we do it every Sunday on the 7 a.m. and in today's episode we are going to cover all the important news and the important editorials from the 11th of May to the 17th of May. Okay? Tar agote, there's a simple quote which I found out in the morning. It says that success is a culmination of the relentless passion where every step taken in pursuit of your vision brings you closer to the extraordinary life you aspire to create. So, etu passion or kotha koise ki if you want to change your life, what you have to do is you have to relentlessly pursue your passion. No matter what your day is or what happens to you, you must follow that passion so that it is ultimately that passion, that relentless zeal that is going to bring you one step closer to your success. Okay, so just a simple quote eta asile, but I thought it's very nice, when I read that quote it felt very nice to me, so I thought of sharing this to you. So on the 11th we had the politics, governance and development. NDA government in Assam completes major developmental success. Etia Assam Tribune headlines or DCL key major success in employment, communication, education, industrialization and health. So let's see what it says. Now 1 lakh jobs have been provided to youths and another 50,000 is on the way. And after independence, only 6 medical colleges were there and now 18 new have been established, which has taken the number to 23. And many new cancer care hospitals and also AIMS is also underway. Now 15 new universities have been established and Assam is also nearing the completion of the 9th bridge. Then there is 32-kilometer long corridor which has been established in Kaziranga. Then there is an underwater tunnel which is being connected from Gopur to Numaligarh. And the 27,000 semiconductor project which has been taken up in the Jagi Road, which is going to bring at least direct or indirect employment to around 29,000 people. So now why I am saying this news is that itia tumaloke political parties or perspective or eta comparison koribo nalage, but overall development perspective or tumaloke soa ki when a particular region is on the stage of development, it generates a lot of employment for people. When there are scope for something to be done, eta ekhon medical college mane khulise mane that doesn't mean ki বহুত মানুহে seat পাব. Beyond this, there are some other things also which you must take into account, like for say the ecosystem all around. এখন medical college খুলিছে মানে কি হয়, তাতে কাম কৰিবলৈ কিমান মানুহ মানে হেৰি হ'ব দৰকাৰ, মানে তাতে কাম কৰিবলৈ কিমান মানুহ দৰকাৰ হ'ব, তাৰ আখে পাখে কিমানবোৰ সৰু সৰু দোকানবিলাক খুলিব. চ' এইবিলাক বস্তু কি হয়, এটা ইক'চিষ্টেম এটা জেনেৰেট হয়. প্লাছ যদি বেছি মেডিকেল কলেজেছ থাকে, যিসকল গাঁৱত থাকে সেইসকল মানুহৰ কাৰণে কি হ'ব, ইজি হ'ব, এক্সেছ টু হেল্থ ফেচিলিটিজবিলাক এক্সেছ কৰিবলৈ ইজি হ'ব. চ' এই ডেভেলপমেণ্টেল পাৰ্চপেক্টিভৰ পৰা when we are going to see something, it gives a long message ki agote jodi amar jodi development nasile teto hetu homoyte ki asile people were engaged in lot of other conflictual things, but now people are more into all the developmental stuff. So hetu karone ki hoy jetia eta stability eta thaki jay ekhon mane herit, when there is a lot of stability inside a state, then there are a lot of other chances ki bahir pra parties bilak ahibo, bahir pra companies bilak ahibo, they are going to settle their industries here. So it gives more and more scope for all round development. So a development perspective you can make a comparison in the early 90s, and now also you can make a comparison. I'm not saying to make a comparison from a political party perspective, but I'm saying overall. Okay, as an APSC aspirant to me ki janibo lage. Next we have is the award and the recognition and the media crisis. Award for 80 executive, that is 80 mane hoise Assam Tribune executive editor PJ Barua. Now Prashanta Jyoti Barua, executive editor of the Assam Tribune, was presented this year's prestigious Brahmaputra Valley Journalism Award. Etia now the award is okay, but tekhete bahut kisuman kothao koisile in this award ceremony. He gave a big speech, aru he speech to bahut kisuman important factor tekhete address korisile. For example, let's say addressing the meeting, Barua spoke about the hard days the newspaper industry is passing through the post COVID-19 period, and many newspaper owners have been forced to retrench journalists in large numbers. And then he said he urged the government to increase the journalist passion. So এই যিটো journalism or এটা যিটো stream আছিলে, all the journalists, now after COVID-19 things have changed, and many newspaper owners have shut down their business. They have forced to retrench journalism in large numbers. So this is not something very good for our democratic practice. And plus, the Assam Tribune was the first newspaper group in India to implement the Justice Majitya Wage Board for working journalists in 2011. So এই Majita যিটো wage board হয়, এই wage board মতে কি কৈছে কি journalist সকলকো এটা pension এটা দিব লাগে, এটা pension scheme under আনিব লাগে, because now we have seen a lot of other crises. Just because of that, a lot of journalists, they have been forced to shut down their business. Because COVID-19 or pisad, there are not lot many investors to invest in the newspaper. Plus, he also said ki paid news or karne ki hoy goise gute jitu journalism or jitu eta akhya asile hetu bostu bodnam hoy goise. Plus, we have artificial intelligence, the social media and the content creation, which is also giving a tough competition to the traditional media. Now he is seeing a big concern. He's been rising because of artificial intelligence, now because of social media, because of content creation. People like to watch more content created videos, people like to watch more social media to get information. Hekarne mane ami koisu na ki WhatsApp University kotha, when we talk about it, ta mane ki that is a social media, right? Now people like to listen to news through WhatsApp, people like to get news through the social media, through Instagram, through Twitter and all. But যিটো traditional media যিটো coverage থাকে, সেই coverage to ইমান এটা reach নাপায়, because now people have shifted to some other modes of communication. But these other modes of communication, these other modes of news, এইবিলাক বস্তু কিমান দূৰলৈকে they are very ethical, or kiman duroleke they actually bear a responsibility towards the society, they bear the accountability or not, এইবিলাক বস্তু লৈ পেলাই এটা major এটা debate এটা actually koribo pora jai. Okay, so this is something you can prepare it from an essay perspective also, ki traditional media versus social media, you can have it in the form of a essay writing practice as well. Okay, next we have is the technology and the celebration, National Technology Day. Now the National Technology Day is celebrated on 11th of May. The day is celebrated annually all over India to commemorate technological breakthroughs and remarkable contributions made by Indian scientists and technology. So National Technology Day aru kisuman bostu ami janibologia ase. For example, this date was chosen to mark the anniversary of the successful nuclear test conducted at Pokhran on May 11, 1998 by PM Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Okay, this theme for National Technology Day is School to Startups, Igniting Young Minds to Innovate. So Technology Day dinahon, what we need to celebrate, we need to bring forward the young minds so that they invest their minds in the ways of imagination and also in the ways of innovation, because we need more startups, we need more innovation. Amar India etia kiman problem ase, protectu jagate tumi jaba, protectu bostute tumi eta you will go and address a problem. So a problem to deal koribole okole administration e okole he problem to deal koribo nware, because we need lot of other technological mediums also to deal with a particular problem, right? So এইবিলাক বস্তুৰ কাৰণে কি হয়, that is why we celebrate the National Technology Day in the memory of the nuclear test which was conducted at Pokhran. Even though the entire world objected to the nuclear test, even Jawaharlal Nehru hetiu প্ৰথমতে disarmament policy কথাই কৈছিলে, that they did not support India becoming a nuclear power. But I think for security reasons we must hold this power, because we must also be accountable to anything that happens outside it, but also at the same time we must be very sure कि we can defend our own country. Okay, we should not be dependent on USA or Russia to defend our own country. Now in there's a very good article which was published, there's a very good editorial which was published that discusses deep fakes and the dangers of AI. Okay, now there's a novel called Brave New World written as early as in 1931 by author Aldous Huxley. So a book khonote tekhete eta bostu mention korisile which was very prophetic, and it was the takeover of the technology over the humanity. Ami jeneke ekhon we have a movie, not Terminator. So hey, Terminator movie khonto ki dekhai ki entire technology, the robots have taken over the humans. So এইবিলাক বস্তু এটা prophetic হয়, but some way or somehow এতিয়া যিমানখিনি revolution হৈছে in the sectors of the technology, some way or the other our society is moving that way only, because some way people who are inventing all these technologies are not taking into account the social impact of these kind of technologies. Okay, now advances in AI have become even more dire in developed nations like the US and Japan. Now an example can be taken, the ChatGPT, which created by OpenAI, an AI research company, a chat box whose neural network is similar to the human brain. Ita ChatGPT tumaloke use korisa ne nai moi najano, but let's say if you give him some prompt, if you give him give me one liner something to write for, give me an entire sheet of something, let's say for example tumi kiba eta answer eta tumi likhibo bisarisa, but you are not able to frame that answer. So tumi kisuman prompts bilak di dila je muk ekhini bostu lage, he tumak dhuniya ke eta heri di dibo. He is also able to write your emails as well. Okay, he is going to write all the emails to the person that you want. He is also going to make you CV. So something which is quite similar to the neural network of the human brain. So amar brain or equivalent jodi eta technology jodi bonai dibo parise, that means you see, is this technology accountable to the people or not? What impact it is going to bring on the society? Eblak bostu ketiao discuss kora huai nasile. Now there is also a process called deep learning, which is also something which is similar to the chat box called as ChatGPT. Now AI could have a devastating impact on the economy, including the likelihood that AI technology could replace jobs. Etia bahut layoffs hoise. Etia bahut companies bilake koise je tahati over recruitment korisile karne now they are they are sending these people off. But actually ki hoise, when you have a technology, you don't have to pay salary to that robot. It is going to do your work as you have directed. It is not going to take leave. Kintu human beings bilake kam korile amar, we have to maintain a balance between work and also a personal life. Aru hei bostu to corporates bilake accept koribo nibisare. For them, you have to work like a gadha. You have to work 10-12 hours, as much as longer you want to. সেইকাৰণে নাৰায়ণ মূৰ্তি যিটো মানে এটা statement আছিলে ন কি everyone should work for this many hours, so it was a huge he got a huge backlash because of this. Now I don't know why he spoke that, in what context he did that, but some way or the other the workforce is already working way too much many hours. It is actually working more than 8 hours a day. So mane jiman khini human body eta himan khini koribo nware. Then deep fake is where the distinction between the real and the artificial is being obliterated. Deep fakes itia tumaloke recently dekisila Rashmika, that actress Rashmika, her face was morphed with somebody's face, aru hei bostu eta bahut dangor eta concern hoy goisil. Then recently there's also an ad where the girl's face is being morphed with Alia Bhatt's face. Then you have other, like for example say মানে পুটিনৰো এটা ৰিসেন্টলি এটা ডিপ ফেক এটা ভিডিঅ' ওলাইছিলে য'ত মানে পুটিন ইজ একচুৱেলি সেইং কি হি ইজ গোইং টু লঞ্চ দ্য নিউক্লিয়াৰ ৱেপনছ, ইজ গোইং টু ডেষ্ট্ৰয় অল দিছ এণ্ড দেট. চ' এইবিলাক বস্তু কি হয়, ডিপ ফেক হয়. চাম ৱে অৰ দি আদাৰ পিপল ডোণ্ট ন' কি দিছ ইজ ৰিয়েল অৰ দিছ ইজ ফেক, বিকজ এইবিলাক বস্তু হয় ইট চাম ৱে অৰ দি আদাৰ ইট অব্লিটেৰেটছ দ্য ডিফাৰেঞ্চ বিটুইন দ্য ৰিয়েল এণ্ড দি আৰ্টিফিচিয়েল. Now deep fake is a type of AI used to create convincing images, audio, video, hoaxes, changing existing source content where one person is swapped for another or the words spoken by someone are altered. It mostly it misleads the public. Now deepfake can be used for instance the entertainment industry এইবিলাক বস্তুত আমি use কৰিব পাৰোঁ because somewhere if we need to do some stunts or কিবা post production কিছুমান যদি scenes create কৰিবলগীয়া হয় for that we can do it but somewhere or the other this one can be used for something bad also for example it can ruin a person's reputation it can get revenge or simply cyberbully so we can do a lot of other things with the deepfake so a regulatory বস্তু এটা নাই কাৰণে কি হৈছে people are doing whatever they want Itia, for example, the curious aspect is that there is no law against the use of deepfake technology. Kotu nai. Even if you go to US also, you will not find that the Congress is not able to build up any, law against the use of deepfake because we do not know what are the kind of deepfakes what the technology being used এটা মানে কিহৰ কাৰণে কৰা হ'ব কিহৰ কাৰণে কৰা নহ'ব সেইবিলাক বস্তু মানে we are still yet to frame out a guideline for this okay so সেইকাৰণে যিকোনো তুমি দেশত যোৱা they don't have any particular law or anything now China is even likely to develop AI generated content via social media to swap public opinion to boost its geographical interest during elections in countries like India, South Korea and the US. It India mane elections soli ase US to solibo and South Korea is also there. So China is somewhere using all these deep fake images or all these things to sway public opinion over it. Okay. It China's into public opinion ase that is somewhere against the Communist Party of China but in the world when China needs to create a certain kind of a public image certain kind of a public opinion which is pro China aru he pro China kisman attitudes bilak build koribole what they are going to do they are going to use the deepfakes which is really concerning okay next we have is the economy and society unemployment and brain drain in northeast there's also an editorial on this now as young professional and skilled workers increasingly migrate to other states countries for better opportunities the region is left to confront significant economic and developmental consequences এতিয়া আমি দেখিবা বহুত আমাৰ অসমৰ মানে ল'ৰা ছোৱালীবিলাকে ক'ত যায় they go to some other states to work or they go outside the country because they don't find much opportunities here আৰু এইটো কাৰণে মই যে ফাৰ্ষ্ট নিউজটো যে তোমাক দিছিলোঁ যিটো আছাম ট্ৰিবিউনৰ হেডলাইনছত আহিছিলে যে মেজৰ ডেভেলপমেণ্টেল প্ৰজেক্ট এইবিলাক বস্তু আমাক কিয় লাগে so that somewhere or the other the development ecosystem to যাতে মেইনটেইন কৰিব পৰা যায় ব্ৰেইন ড্ৰেইনটো যাতে নহয় ইয়াত যদি কৰি খাবলৈ যদি একো মাধ্যমে নাথাকে তেতিয়াহ'লে মানুহবিলাকে কিয় থাকিব ইয়াতে The International Labour Organization released the All India Employment Report. The report revealed that Assam, Tripura, Sikkim and Mizoram have some of the lowest unemployment rates. গোটেই দেশখনতে মানে এতিয়া আমাৰ এটা পপুলেশ্যনটো তুমি চোৱা our population is somewhere less than Bihar or something but somewhere in this entire report our entire unemployment rate has been much larger than any other states in India now disguised unemployment The report has demonstrated a positive correlation between unemployment and urbanization. Okay, jiman besi amar yate urbanization hoise, himane besi amar ki hoy goise unemployment hoy goise. Now states like Goa and Kerala are highly urbanized but have low unemployment rates. The Goa aru Kerala nisna jega jiman besi urbanization hoise, himan besi employment or ecosystem eta hoise. Kintu North East India jiman besi urbanization hoise, himane besi mane unemployment or মানে ৰেচিঅ'টো সিমানে বেছি হৈ গৈছে বিকজ চামৱে উই আৰ নট এবল টু বিল্ড দ্য চেল্ফ এমপ্লয়মেণ্টৱালা যিটো এটা আমাৰ হেৰি থাকে ন দ্য চেল্ফ এমপ্লয়মেণ্ট মানে যিটো এটা এৱাৰনেছ থাকে সেই এৱাৰনেছটো আমি ইয়াতে বিল্ড আপ কৰিব পৰা নাই মে বি দ্য গভৰ্ণমেণ্ট ইজ নট এবল টু ডু অৰ মে বি দ্য ছ'চাইটি ইট চেল্ফ ইজ নট ৰেডি টু একচেপ্ট এবাউট দি টাৰ্মছ অফ দি চেল্ফ এমপ্লয়মেণ্ট চ' সেইকাৰণে যিমান বেছি আৰ্বানাইজেশ্যন হৈছে টাউনছবিলাক বিল্ড হৈছে বিল্ডছবিলাক ব্ৰিজ হৈছে চিটিজবিলাক বিল্ড হৈছে বাট চামৱে আনএমপ্লয়মেণ্ট মানে ৰেচিঅ'টো একেই আছে অ'কে The Economic Survey also pointed out that there has been stagnation if not decline in the growth of real wages. তাৰমানে wages বিলাকো বাঢ়া নাই stagnated হৈ আছে বাঢ়াটো নাই কমিও যোৱা নাই but stagnate হৈ আছে now increasing demand for benefits under Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act এটা গাঁওবিলাকত তুমি চাবা MGN ৰেগাৰ কাৰণে ডিমাণ্ডটো বেছি বাঢ়িছে what does MGN ৰেগা does it provides you 100 days of guaranteed employment so যেতিয়া মানুহবিলাকে 100 days of guaranteed employment কাৰ্ডখন লৈ পেলাই যেতিয়া আৰু বেছি ভৰ্তি হ'বলৈ যাব what does it say it says কি they have been provided they really need work they really need something to do so so that তাহাঁতৰ কি হৈছে মানে ইনকাম হোৱা নাই, এমপ্লয়মেণ্ট জেনেৰেশ্যন হোৱা নাই. চ' ডেট ইজ ৱাই দেৰ ইজ বিন আ মোৰ এণ্ড মোৰ ডিমাণ্ড অফ দিছ MGNREGA project আৰু ৰিয়েল ৱেজবিলাকো বাঢ়া নাই. Now according to 2011 census, the highest proportion 19.2% of students migrated from Manipur, followed by Mizoram, Arunachal Pradesh, Sikkim and Nagaland. It is 2011 or census hoy ha. It is actually recent report no hoy, but it is what is mentioned. The majority 19.2% from Manipur. So just imagine 19.2% jodi manuhe jodi migrate kori pelai jodi gusi hoise in search of employment, how bad the situation is. And even you can see Arunachal pra 16, 15, Mizoram pora 16, Sikkim pora 12 and Nagaland pora 9.9. Okay. Now according to periodic labor force survey conducted in 2021, 54.7% of males migrated from Assam for employment reasons. So amar yate kiman hoise 54.7%, jitu recent data 2021 or labor force survey pora hoise. Tamne adhat ke besi manu bilake Delhi, Mumbai eblak jagat kam bisare gusi hoise. Now implementing the code on wages 2019 and social security 2020 can also be helpful. So if we somewhere implement the wages wala scheme, so somewhere people will get a definite, a very proportionate wages, which will be able, some way or the other they will be able to maintain their lifestyle. But now people are not able to maintain their lifestyle because as the inflation is rising, their real wages are also not increasing. Now the Aspire scheme for villages and Lakhpati Didi are somewhere, these are the awareness or the examples of the entrepreneurs of this self-employment. So is self-employment or jitu generation or kotha moi koisu, it for example say it is a 100% employment dibo lage. 100% employment mane কোনো ৰাজ্যতে দিব নোৱাৰে, কোনো countryতে দিব নোৱাৰে, because it is going to affect the macroeconomic situation of the country. Because আমি যদি 100% যদি এমপ্লয়মেণ্ট দি দিওঁ, ইনফ্লেশ্যন ৰেটো সিমান বেছি বাঢ়ি গৈ থাকিব. অ'কে, চ' সেইকাৰণে এটা প্ৰপৰ্শ্যন অফ আনএমপ্লয়মেণ্ট ৰেচিঅ' এটা থাকিবই, তুমি যিকোনো কাণ্ট্ৰিতে তুমি যোৱা লাগিলে. But some way or the other we need to create the awareness for the self-employment wala. আমি নিজে কিবা কৰিব পাৰোঁ নেকি? Can we start our own entrepreneurship? সেই entrepreneurship যিটো কালচাৰ আছে, সেই কালচাৰটো ইজিলি ইয়াতে প্ৰমোট কৰা মই দেখা নাই. মই ইমান দেখা নাই বা মই ইমান হেৰি কৰা নাই. আৰু মে বি পিপল আমাৰ societyখনো এনেকুৱা কি we are still stuck in that era of the government job wala. So we don't want to create something of our own or anything. So hey bostutu ahibole olopman time lagibo. Now international organizations, we have International Commission of Jurists. This body in the context of Manipur has recently deported 77 Myanmar refugees from the state and intends to continue the process, says forced deportation must halt in India. Okay, so এতিয়া কি কৰিছে, মায়ানমাৰলৈকে কিছুমান হেৰিবিলাক ৰেফিউজিছবিলাক তাহাঁতে ডিপৰ্ট কৰি দিছে. চ' ইন কণ্টেক্স অফ দেট দিছ ইণ্টাৰনেশ্যনেল অৰ্গেনাইজেশ্যন হেজ কাম ইন টু বিন. ইট ইজ এ নন গভৰ্ণমেণ্ট অৰ্গেনাইজেশ্যন এণ্ড ইট কনচিষ্ট অফ পিপল of really 60 eminent jurists, including senior judges, attorneys and academics who work to develop national and international human rights standards through the law. So Amnesty International kotha tumaloke porisa, Human Rights Watch kotha tumaloke porisa. So this is another addition to the list of the international organization. If you have to write answers regarding the international organizations, you can include this also. This is the recent NGO which also works for the human rights. Eta Amnesty kotha tumaloko kitapot dia ase, but for this it is not given as much. Now justice, society and reforms. Now Assam solitary open jail. Why it is in news? Because it is coming up with certain facilities like allowing its 100 odd inmates to avail family stay privileges. Eta inmates bilakok ki hoy, jailot thakile tumi tuma poribaৰৰ লগত তুমি থাকিব নোৱাৰা. Okay, this is your jail time. But some way or the other, this jail is changing its entire course of action for at least 100 odd inmates. Now who are these inmates? This open jail, sources inform that the state government has already given the go-ahead to the new setup of the open-air jail in Jorhat, which would be able to house 100 such convicts with their family members at a time. At least 100 janok dise. Now these are only those who have found guilty for second degree and third degree murder. First degree murder nohoy, second degree and the third degree murder. The second and third degree murders are those who are not planned and mostly committed in the heat of the moment. Okay, তাহাঁতি প্ৰফেশ্যনেল মাৰ্ডাৰাৰ্ছ নহয়। এতিয়া ধৰা তুমি কাৰোবাৰ লগত কিবা পটককৈ তুমি কাজিয়া লাগিলা, তো কাজিয়া লাগোঁতে কি হৈছে, তোমাক মানে কোনোবা মানুহে ধৰা ফৰ এক্সাম্পল কোনোবা চেণ্টিমেণ্টেল কথা এটা কৈ দিলে, তো তোমাৰ মাথাটো বেয়া হৈ গ'ল এণ্ড দেন ইউ কিল ডেট পাৰ্চন। তো চাম ৱে অৰ দি আদাৰ ইট ইজ দ্য হিট অফ দ্য মুমেণ্ট। ইউ ইয়ৰ চেল্ফ did not want to kill that person, but some way or the other the heat of the moment or hey bostutu hoy gol. So it is a crime, it is a second degree murder, but at the same time it was not committed with the intention of murder. Okay, it just happened at the heat of the moment. So he karone henekwa inmates mane bilakok dia hoise, but it is not given to people who have actually committed real crimes, mane jar mane intention e asile murder kora henekwa manuhok dia nai. Okay, it is just for people who have some way or the other they have showed very good discipline, very good behavior inside the jail. So a jail policy to loi pelai ebar UPSC to eta mane এটা কুৱেশ্যন এটা আহিছিলে কি জেইল মুভমেণ্টছবিলাকত মানে কি হয়, আমাৰ যিটো জেইলৰ যিটো কনচেপ্ট হয় সেইটো বস্তু এটা কলনিয়েল টাইমছৰ পৰাই চলি আহিছিলে। আৰু ব্ৰিটিছবিলাকে কি কৰিছিলে, সেইটো সময়তে জেইলবিলাকত যেতিয়া মানুহবিলাক ভৰাই দিয়ে, তো তেখেতসকলৰ এটাই আছিলে কি what you have done is you have done a crime, what you need to do is you need to go and stay inside the jail so that it as a form of a punishment. Kintu he manujonok reform kora eko system eta nasile, mane the jail authorities or the government or the British administration did not try to reform that person. He manujone jodi crime korise, there must be some reason, right? There must be some socio-economic reason why that person has committed that crime. So he why he jitu question eta asile he question to ketio address e kora nasile, but now lahe lahe things have been changing and this is a jail reform that we actually need. Etia tumi kisuman biharot tumi kisuman jailot jaba, you'll go to some other jails, you will see the inmates are full, mane imane bisi full hoise thakibole jega nai, they don't have proper cell where they can feel safe from other big inmates. Now there are a lot of bullying inside the inmates also. Now there are a lot of jails where they don't get proper food, they don't get proper water facility. So even though they have committed a crime, but they are humans, so they should be entitled to certain human rights. So hey, human rights are questions bilak e jail bilakot address kora nasile, but now if these are the certain things which have been introduced in the jail system in Assam, it is something which is leading us towards the reformation of the jail system in India. Okay, you can include this in your answer if you wish to. Now in the literature and books we have Late Blooming Cherries, Haiku Poetry from India. Now co-edited book by Dr. Rimi Nath and Kinpan Singh. Late Blooming Cherries, Haiku Poetry from India has been released. Now what is this haiku poetry? Haiku naam to hunisa nai. It was listed in the Vogue, Open Magazine, Deccan Herald and the Financial Express. Now haiku is a beautiful and a minimalistic form of poetry. It originated in Japan and was primarily influenced by the Zen Buddhism. Okay, it is some way or the other, it's a very minimalistic form of a poetry, and haiku, this has been released in Assam, but all over India actually both agote hoi goisile. The traditional written in 17 syllables arranged in 3 unrhymed lines of 5-7-5 syllables. Haiku means light verse. So total mane keta syllables thake 5 and 7 or 5 syllables. It is very very mane miniature form of a poetry. The first bilingual haiku anthology, Hindi English, from India is Angel Deodhar's Indian Haiku, a bilingual anthology of haiku which was published in the year 2008. Okay. Next we have the Science, Women and the Society. Now Hypatia, which is first individual name of a woman mathematician. This is an editorial. It highlights the first individual name of woman mathematician of tremendous repute and significant influences, Hypatia, from the great ancient center of learning Alexandria. Okay. Now, known as a daughter of Theon, the last known renowned scholar of the great library of Alexandria, Hypatia conducted significant studies of the elements, In addition to this, her discussions on the conic sections, movement of celestial bodies, preparation of various astronomical calendars, and constructions of machines for measuring density of liquids were widely known. So she is the woman who belonged to that ancient Greeks, and she was the first woman to make commentaries on the mathematical principles. Okay, she wrote commentaries on the important mathematical work, and Diophantus was the first Greek mathematician who recognized positive natural numbers. Okay, positive rational numbers. Now, Hypatia was also an influential philosopher and skillful orator who traveled to many parts of the Europe. Now, her great oratory skill and growing influence was considered by the Christians as something detrimental to the Christian belief. After her brutal murder, she was declared as the first female martyr of philosophy and mathematician, and Maria Jetene Ignis in the 18th century. Maria Jetena Ignisi in the 18th century became the first woman to write a mathematics handbook, appointed as a mathematics professor at the University of Bologna. Now, why this editorial is very important for you? Because in the world of science, technology and maths, you will always find names of men. You will always find people, their names are always men. But womenor jitu contributions hoy etu iman besi highlight kora najay. Kintu Greeks or jitu eta culture mane asile no, the Greek philosophers. If you read all the Greek philosophers, majority of the philosophies you will find have actually originated from men, like Plato hobo, you will find Aristotle, you will find Socrates, you will find some others, all these philosophers. If you go to somewhere else also, you will find all those male philosophers, all the mathematicians, you will find male astronomers. Kintu at a point of time in the history, women philosophers of iman besi heri kora nasile, iman besi, they did not actually encourage the growth of the women philosophers. They neither encouraged the growth of the women mathematicians or the astronomers. So this is something, is a very very good thing that you can actually include in your essay writing, if you have to do something with the writings of the science and technology in your essay. তো সেইকাৰণে মাইকী মানুহক মানে কেতিয়াও একো হেৰিয়ে কৰা নাছিলে. দে নেভাৰ একচুৱেলি এনকাৰেজ women participants to actually contribute in the line of philosophy or astronomy or any other scientific beings. Okay, it's a great thing for us to know actually this. Now the appointment and the personnel we have. Now Ida Shisha appointed new DGP of Meghalaya, but she is the first woman tribal officer to become the state police chief. So she is the first tribal officer to become the state police chief. Now in the geography we have Meghalaya's sacred groves of Mawlang. Now French ambassador of India visited Meghalaya's sacred groves of Mawplang, located about 25 km from the state capital. Now what is Mawplang? Mawplang houses one of the largest and the ancient groves in the state. The indigenous populace believes that the soul of their forefathers dwells in these forests. So that is why Mawplang forest was in the news. It is somewhere around it actually hosts a lot of other forest and the groves and ancient groves, and this is something which is related to something ancient, their ancient culture of the relation to their forefathers. Now the local Khasi residents perform religious rituals in these sacred groves. Now in the celebration we have International Nurses Day. Now theme for 2024 is Our Nurses, Our Future, the economic power of care. Now diaspora we have Aisha Yusuf Hazarika. Aisha Yusuf Hazarika, who has her parental roots in North Lakhimpur, has become the first British Assamese person to enter the House of Lords in the British Parliament. So you must have seen right now in the lot of news, it has been circulating. So she is the first Assamese. Her parents or her descendants were from Assam. So she is the Scottish political aide of the Labour Party, and she has also helped to draft the landmark Equality Act of 2010. So she has been very active member of the British Parliament for a long time. So she was appointed as a editor of the Londoner, and her first book Punch and the Judy Politics, an Insider's Guide to Prime Minister's Questions, was published in May 2018. Okay. Now, finance and rural development. We have Tripura Grameen Bank. Now, why it is in news? The Tripura Grameen Bank has secured the second position in terms of business growth and diverse performance among 43 regional rural banks in India. Now, regional rural banks. If you go to Assam, Assam Grameen Vikas Bank, তো মানে তাতে তুমি এটা কমন প্ৰব্লেম দেখিবা এণ্ড দ্যাট ইজ তাতে লিংকে নাথাকে you go anywhere, you take your passbook and you say I want to withdraw money or I want to deposit money নাই 2-3 দিন লিংকে নাই মানুহে এনেই বহি আছে কাম নাই একো হোৱা নাই so if you are establishing a bank in a rural sector for the rural people. Now, rural people are people who don't have much time to, visit banks every day because banks are not something which are really accessible to them in a near place. If you're living in a city, tumar yate just 1 kilometer distance hote tumi eta bank eta pai jaba eta branch you will get a branch or something. But if you go to a rural place, they have to travel at least 5-6 kilometer or not, let's say 10 kilometer to reach a particular bank. But if you go to that bank and if you find that the bank is not able to provide you the services, they cannot come every day to open a bank account to take their the deposits or take back their withdrawal and everything. But if you see the Tripura Grameen Bank, it is performing very nicely. But I don't know what has happened to Assam Grameen Vikas Bank. I have never seen anything good happening in Assam Grameen Vikas Bank. If you have seen, please comment down. I have never seen. Now there are 7 RRBs in the northeast region, including Tripura and Assam, and these were established 48 years ago in 1976, which is operating across Tripura with 150 full-fledged branches. Now, in the defense sector, we have beehive on border fence. Now, what we have is here. The Union Home Ministry has directed all central paramilitary and allied forces to replicate a beehive border fence keeping model initiatives by BSF in West Bengal. So, this is done by BSF. The model devised and implemented by 32nd Battalion of the Border Security Force deployed to guard the India-Bangladesh international border in West Bengal's Nadia district. Now, the aim of replicating the BSF West Bengal beekeeping model is to generate employment in remote locations, making friends and earning goodwill of the locals. Now, launched in November last year, the BSF unit in Nadia has installed close to 200 beehive on the India-Bangladesh alloy-made border fence till now. Okay. Now, literature and the recognition, we have the Aruni Kashyap. Now, why it is in news? Georgia-based Assamese author Aruni Kashyap has been named as one of the fellows by Harvard Radcliffe Institute for the 2024-25. Now, culture and under celebration, we have the Bishu Festival. The Udalguri chapter of the All Coach Rajpanchi Students Union celebrated the Bishu Festival with a day-long program of the Tarabari Hatibandha village in the Udalguri district. Now we have another celebration, which is late Homen Borgohain, the third birth anniversary of eminent writer, journalist and ex-president of Assam Sahitya Sabha. The late Homen Borgohain was observed on 12th May and mention of his autobiography Atmanuhandhan, My Journalistic Life and Pita Putra. So Pita Putra also received the Sahitya Academy Award, right? Now, the award and recognition, we have Alexei Navalny. Well-known Russian opposition figure Alexei Navalny is to be posthumously awarded the first Dresden International Peace Prize. Now Alexei Navalny was a person whom Putin used to fear a lot. Since 2010, the Friends of the Dresden have awarded the Dresden Prize on the anniversary of the city's destruction in World War II. And to individuals who have made a special contribution to peace and international understanding. So this is an award they give in the memory of the World War II because of the destruction these areas have seen. So that is why they are giving special contribution to people who actually contribute towards peace and development. Now, in the sports sector, we have Kami Rita Sherpa. Now, veteran Nepali climbing guide Kami Rita Sherpa set a new world record by ascending the world's highest Mount Everest for the 29th time. So she has set a world record. She has climbed the Mount Everest not for one but for the 29th time. Now the medicine and the technology, we have Rick Sleeman. Now why Rick Sleeman is in news? Because he was the world's first patient with a transplanted pig kidney. So he lived for around, I think, for 2 months or something, but then he died. But this is the first experimental basis where a person's kidney is being transplanted by a pig's kidney. So instead of human, you get a pig. The operation was a milestone in xenotransplantation, the transplantation of organs or tissues from one species to another. আমাৰ অসমতো বহুত বছৰ আগতে এজন ডক্টৰে কৰিছিল about the heart transplant from the heart of a pig to a human pig. I think that person lived for a day or something and then he died. But somewhere it was it was the beginning of that xenotransplantation, because human organs bilak iman easily available nathake, but if we are able to harvest organs from the animals, then it will be a very good milestone for us to achieve all this, for kidneys and for heart, for liver, এইবিলাক বস্তু আমাৰ transplantation বহুত দৰকাৰ হৈ থাকে. And in the medicine industry, if we can harvest these kind of animal organs to transplant it into the human beings, it will be a great medical milestone. Now Sleeman's death was not linked to the transplant. The hospital said the kidney came from a pig that was genetically edited to remove harmful pig genes and add certain human genes. So etam directly pig to kati pelai mane kidney to uliai pelai di nidiye. It is like it is been genetically modified to remove harmful pig genes and also to incubate certain human genes. Okay. Now on the 14th we have society and reforms. We have Birubala Rabha. Now anti-superstition crusader Birubala Rabha passed away on Monday. So you know who she was. She was a social crusader who fought against witch hunting in Assam. Daini Hotyar against tekhete khub mat matisile, and she herself was actually a so-called victim of the witch hunting. Based on Gwalpara, she led Mission Birubala, an organization dedicated to raising awareness about this issue. In recognition of her social contribution, the government of India honored her with the Padma Shri in 2021. Now Rabha also established the Thakurvila Mahila Samiti, a women's association to raise awareness about social issues, and later she joined the Assam Mahila Samita Society, and in 2011 she founded the Mission Birubala. So these are some of the non-profit organizations which she has opened, and these organizations have actually contributed to raising awareness about the witch hunting, and because of her there was passing of the Assam Witch Hunting Prohibition, Prevention and Protection Act in 2015. Now the objective was to educate and raise awareness about witch hunting, and she rescued over more than 35 women from the evils of the witch hunting. Next we have the act which came into effect in 2018, imposes up to 7 years jail and a significant fine for identifying and branding a person as a witch. Mane jitu 2015 jitu act to pass kora hoisile, the prevention and mane protection, hetu karne if you identify anybody as witch, if you label anybody as witch in your village or in your locality, you can be fined and you can also have to serve a jail of around 7 years. Now Rabha was also nominated for Nobel Peace Prize by the Northeast Network, and in 2015 she was granted an honorary doctorate degree by the Guwahati University. Next we have is the defense. India-France military exercise called as Shakti. Now the 14th day India-France military exercise Shakti began, and the opening ceremony was attended by Thierry Matho, who is the ambassador of France to India. Now exercise is being held among 90 personnel from the Rajput Regiment of India and France 13 French Legion Half Brigade. So this is the first time that an ambassador of a country has come to witness or to inaugurate such a military exercise. So that itself explains how deep of a military and the defense partnership has been built between India and France. Now international communication and infrastructure is a Chabahar port operation. Chabahar portor kotha tomaloke agote saisila when Afghanistan was taken over by the Taliban. Aru India eta mission asile to build a road connecting to the Chabahar port through which we can get a direct access to the Central Asian region. A long-term bilateral contract on Chabahar port operation was signed between Indian Ports Global Limited of India and the Port and the Maritime Organization of Iran, enabling the operation of the Shahid Beheshti in Chabahar Port Development Project for 10 years. Now, disease and the epidemic, we have an editorial which speaks about the swine flu. Now, swine flu is a respiratory disease caused by the type of A influenza virus that regularly outbreaks in pigs and not in humans. There are different subtypes and the strains of swine influenza. The three main swine flu which circulated in pigs are swine triple, resultant TR H1N1, H1N2 and H3N2. These are the three type of variants of the swine flu. Itia amar janeke COVID variants bilak asile no mane thik tenedore ki mane kisuman mane virus or variants kisuman thake because a blood variants hetu karone thake because the virus it develop itself a kind of a protection layer against the immune system of a other organism. So they have the capability to change themselves to adopt themselves in to infiltrate the immune system of a particular organism. Now, swine influenza virus do not usually infect humans. It spreads among pigs mostly through direct contact with infected pigs or indirect contact via contaminated fomites. When a virus that typically spread pigs infects a human, it is known as the variant flu virus. If it infects a human, jodi gahori pora jodi manu hole jodi infect hoise, then it will be called as that kind of a variant. Now, human infections with variant flu viruses most commonly occur in people through direct contact with infected pigs via droplets from the nose or mouth. Now, children below 5 years of age, people above 65 years, pregnant women and people with chronic health conditions at higher risk of developing serious variant flu complications. Itia kisuman gaon bilakot ji hokole gahori puhe tate dekhiba bachcha bilake gahori tu logote kheli thakibo. Okay, and if the pig's saliva is stuck in the hand of the children, tahati he hat khonere ki koribo khana khabo kiba khabo, nobody takes care of the health hygiene, and that is how it is been infected. Otherwise, if you have a pig in your backyard, if that pig has a swine flu, if you don't go into contact to that pig, it cannot be spread to any human because it will direct contact korile has spread hobo. It cannot be spread through any kind of air. Amar janeke coronavirus spread hoisile through droplets through air, eblak bostu enake spread no hoy. Okay, and the swine flu is a big problem because jitu eta gahori jitu farm bilak mane heri thake, and India এতিয়া আমাৰ মানে অসমত আটাইতকৈ বেছি মানুহে গাহৰি খায়, but still it is very saddened thing ki we don't have a lot of gahori farms, we don't have lot of pig farms which can actually supply that many of pigs to our market. We actually import a lot of pigs from places like Punjab and all. Okay, so this is a big problem. And why this is a problem? Because first of all, people they do not have any awareness regarding the swine flu. Then many people who actually do the farming do not get the support from the government or from the local authorities. But now the Assam government has currently bought many new schemes to help people raise pigs and do the pig farming and all those things. Okay, now in the celebration we have the cucumber festival. The third edition of the off-season cucumber festival was held at Mokochung district a few days back. Notably, producing cucumbers during the challenging dry season is not easy. So they are celebrating the production of cucumber because on the dry seasons, the producing cucumber is not a very easy thing because cucumbers are largely, they have water inside them. So they need a lot of water to grow. Okay. And dry season or ki hoy borokhun nohole mane cucumber production ba cultivation to bohote besi affect hoy. Net in the award we have the Jatin Goswami. Sangeet Natak Academy awardee and Padam Shri Jatin Goswami was honored with the Kushilabha Kalanidhi, the Treasure of the Arts title, for his immense contribution to the field of Kshatriya Sangeet culture. Okay, Jatin Goswami is one of the renowned Kshatriya dancer. Now in the award section we have Ganesh Tamuli. Why is in news? Renowned social worker Ganesh Tamuli, who is the chairman of the Northeast Cancer Hospital, was conferred the Nalbari Vaibhav Award for 2023 and 24. Next on the 15th we have technology in ISRO. IT Minister Keshav Mahanta on Tuesday urged ISRO Sridhar Panikar Somnath to set up an ISRO center in Assam. So now Assam is trying to set up some of the ISRO center here so that we can have good amount of new awareness, new startups. We have some new inculcated minds from Northeast India to put into the space technology. Okay. Discuss in detail about the establishment of the network of space object tracking and analysis NETRA center in Assam, for which the government of Assam has allotted 200 bighas of land at Sondrapur. Sondrapur dise Narangi pinne gole tumalke dekhiba Sondrapur. NETRA, which is Network of Space Object Tracking and Analysis Center. Okay. Now international relations, India and Nepal, we have an editorial article which says tensions occurred in between India and Nepal regarding 3 areas which both parties claim to be their own. Now in 2019, India issued an official map claiming the Kalapani and the Lipu Lake areas as its own. Now in January 2020, Nepal's parliament voted in favor of altering the country's map to show that these areas, Lipu Lake, Kalapani and Limpiadhura, as falling within its own border. So এতিয়া নেপালে কৈছে যে লিপু লেক আৰু কালাপানী এটো আমাৰ হয়, but India কৈছে this is as per the official boundary. It is one of the Indian territory. So এটো border issues লৈ পেলাই এটা clash চলি আছে. These claims and counterclaims have attained a climax, with the Nepal government printing new 100 Nepalese rupee currency notes featuring a map of the country, which includes the territories in dispute. Next, we have the celebration of the families. The UN General Assembly declared the International Day of Families to be celebrated on May 15th every year, which is called International Day of Families. In 1994, UN made the decision to celebrate International Family Day and International Day of Families to highlight the importance of families in our societies. Now the theme is families and climate change. Okay, even climate change is affecting the families. Now the technology and the defense, we have the Japan and the USA. Now Japan, USA move ahead in co-developing the hypersonic weapons interceptor. Now what is this hypersonic weapons interceptor? Hypersonic weapons are designed to exceed Mach 5 or 5 times the speed of sound, posing a threat to regional missile defense systems. So if we have a regional missile defense system, if this missile is going to be even 5 times the speed of sound or speed to jiman jai tatke 5 times besi jabo. So it is developing the interceptors of them is a challenge. So A2Z2 technology tahati bonaise, for them to intercept these kind of missile will be very difficult. It is aneke, for example, Israel or G2 ase the Iron Dome technology. It actually intercepts a lot of missiles coming from Gaza, or you can say coming from the Lebanon area, or you can say all these neighboring areas. So this Iron Dome technology is able to intercept these missiles, because these missiles don't travel at the speed of sound. But the kind of missile that Japan and USA is talking about, that missile is going to travel at the speed of more than the speed of sound, 5 times the speed of sound. So that is why developing interceptors to intercept these kind of missile will be very difficult. Now piped natural gas, we have an editorial which is a natural resource. Now piped natural gas, PNG, a naturally occurring hydrocarbon gas mixture consisting primarily of methane with other hydrocarbons, carbon dioxide, nitrogen and hydrogen sulfide, is a convenient and affordable fuel driven by demand in various sectors. So it is piped natural gas. The realization of natural gas as a cleaner and the greener fuel is growing. This eco-friendly and inexpensive fuel promises to eliminate the hassles associated with the conventional fuels. Combustion of natural gas reduces greenhouse gas emissions and thus is considered to be environment friendly. Okay, so combustion of natural gas, it will reduce the greenhouse gas emissions. Tomar jitu methane production hobo, jitu carbon dioxide production hobo, heblak bostu tate reduce kori dibo, reducing the effects of the greenhouse gas. It is cheaper than liquid petroleum gas, and it is also other gaseous fuels. By promoting this fuel, India has been making good strides in the city gas distribution network. From 66 districts in 2013 to 14, pipe gas coverage has shot up to 630 districts in 2022 to 23, taking the number of domestic PNG connections from 25 lakhs to 103 lakhs in the 10-year period. So 66 districts cover hoisile, itia by 2023 630 districts cover hoise, and however the progress in Assam has been relatively very slow. Assam is a place of lahe lahe. Now the award and recognition, we have Bhargav Sharma. Now well-known writer, lyricist and novelist Bhargav Sharma has been chosen for the Sahitya Saurav Award by the Abhinandan Sanskriti Gosti, a premier cultural organization of the state, for his contribution towards literature, poetry and the children's literature. It may be mentioned here that Sharma was recently also awarded the Lifetime Achievement Award for Literature by the National Sports and Cultural Festival held in the city. Now next we have on the 17th is Medicine and Health. We have Bharat Biotech's COVID vaccine. So nearly 1/3 of 926 individuals who received Bharat Biotech's anti-COVID vaccine Covaxin reported adverse events of special interest, or AESI, according to one-year follow-up study. Adverse effects. Now serious AESI, which included stroke and Guillain-Barré syndrome. Now Guillain-Barré syndrome is a kind of autoimmune disorder which causes weakness in the nervous system in the arms and the legs. It is somewhat an autoimmune disorder. Now in the celebration we have Sikkim. Why news? As part of the Ek Bharat Shrestha Bharat initiative, Raj Bhavan, Assam celebrated the Statehood Day, which is 49th of Sikkim, on 16th May. Okay. Foundation Day. Next we have the National Dengue Day. This year's theme for National Dengue Day is Dengue Prevention, our responsibility for a safer tomorrow. I don't need to explain to you what dengue is. Dengue fever is a viral infection caused by the bite of mosquitoes. The first case of hemorrhagic dengue fever was reported in the Philippines in the 1953. Next we have is the International Museum Day, which will be celebrated on 18th May. The theme of IMD is Museums for Education and Research. Okay. And next we have is the Naga Plebiscite Day. The NSC and IM observe the Naga Plebiscite Day on 16th May. The Naga National Council had conducted the Naga Plebiscite Day on May 16, 1951 to reaffirm the celebration of Naga independence on August 14, 1947. Now Boro Bijuin San, in a move to commemorate the historic introduction of the Boro language as a medium of instruction in schools, the BTC has announced the observation of Boro Bijuan San 2024 on May 18th. Okay, so Boro Bijuan San, which is a festival which will honor the introduction of Boro language as a medium of instruction in schools. So this was the news that we had from 11th to the 17th of May. So if you have anything to say, please comment down, and on the next session we'll meet again with the important articles and the editorials. Until then, take care and all the best.